Awesome. Greetings, welcome to That Pedal Show Live. VCQ, Dan here.
Mick here, hello. I was sure one of those was a self-oscillation button, but I obviously got it completely wrong, Dan.
No, it was good, it was beautiful.
And, I was also confused because my bottom string was not tuned to E. Welcome to viewers' comments and questions then, peoples.
Didn't I do that last week? I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll drop D.
Yeah.
I went down to, I already had it in drop D. I didn't know. So I tuned down a tone. I'm in drop C on the E string. I hit this D chord. It's like it ends up being a D dominant 7/3 inversion. Blah.
Well, I'm glad you knew what it was. I mean, you know.
I didn't know till after.
Yeah.
I turned the mess off.
Have we got audio problems, Fraser?
Oh
dear. My sister's on, Michelle. She says, hi from sunny Sweden, little brother, and Dan, I had fun this weekend with a bag full. I wonder what a bag full is. Glad you've had a nice time.
But yeah,
Michelle.
Feel free to expand on that.
Yeah, Jason Hunt says, greetings from Colombia. Oh, no, sorry, Columbia, South Carolina. Equally as cool. I've learned a ton from you both. Keep it up. Thank you. Brent Porter, good morning from Utah. Hello to everyone in Utah.
Yes, indeed.
Bart Hendricks, greetings from Belgium. Hello to Belgium.
Poirot?
Yes.
Okay, just...
Yes. And disgraced football pundit, ex-TV commentator Stuart Hall. Not Belgian, but the most famous Belgian quote ever.
Right.
Do you was it called It's a Knockout, that show on British TV?
We had a version in Australia.
Yeah. Anyway,
In
he
the
would
80s.
always say, just look at the Belgians! Thanks to BV for moderating, as always. Thank you very much, BV, for doing that. David Rustad, cheers from Washington State. Virginia, USA, says Wesley Veens. Nice. Mark Sieber, Portland, Oregon. Back to Portland, Oregon again. All the cool things in Portland, Oregon. London Steel says, I have a 212 with two 16-ohm speakers. Player both parallel.
Slight audio delay.
Oh, we've got a slight audio delay. What are we talking, Fraser? Milliseconds or seconds or minutes?
Half a second or so.
Because I guess in, space terms, minutes is very slight.
In space terms?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Or in paleo terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's when minutes are sort of neither here nor there.
I tell you what, about paleontology, I didn't know this. Quite a lot of the dinosaurs didn't live concurrently.
Right.
So all those pictures you see of like Stegosaurus and Tyrannosaurus
We're millions of years apart.
didn't happen.
Yeah.
Apparently there was more... Now, somebody said to me there was more time between Diplodocus and T-Rex than there was between whichever the last one was and the internet.
Really?
Yeah, if there are any paleontologists
That's amazing.
on, Ross from Friends, if you're watching, please let us know. Looks blankly. Chicago here says Sunset 1997.
Sound Propeller Patrick, cheers from Michigan. And Metal Thrashing Matt
Hello, Matt.
cheers from Pennsylvania. Joseph Nichols says, good morning from Thursday Island. Thursday Island.
What do you
Why
do
I
for the
know
rest
that
of the
now?
week?
It's just perpetually Thursday there.
Yeah.
Every day.
It's like, oh, what day is it? Why did you even ask?
Yeah. Which is quite disappointing because it never actually gets to Friday.
I know, thank God. Oh, it's Thursday again. I don't like Thursday. Thursdays.
Tony Rosala says, that candy apple telly looks so nice. Yes, I bought Red back out for a play today, put some new strings on it, and it's sounding really lovely.
Mark Lavinish says, thanks Mark for your kindness, says, I got the Ego compressor like you suggested. It's very muffled no matter what I do. Guitar, Ego, amp, clean channel. Thoughts? It's broken.
Yeah, the ego is not muffled.
Definitely not muffled. Let's prove that it's not muffled, shall we, Dan?
We okay?
We just keep chatting for 2 seconds.
All right.
Just want to get it down.
We've got some audio sync problems, which we seem to have every week.
Yeah.
We'll do this in a minute. Mark, sorry about the audio sync issues. We've literally no idea. You set it up, you test it, you do a test, and then it all goes wrong again.
It's all good until the...
So we've literally no idea why it happens. It happens every week. Despite Fraser's best efforts and considerable frustration at it not working. So there we are. It's because we're trying to be too clever about it, I think, Dan. Is probably the truth. We're trying to get good audio and good video, and
It's possible. It has to be possible. It's 2020.
I know.
Oh, man.
Okay, so Mark, we'll come back to you in a minute about the ego compressor. Jason Carapazzi. Hello, Jason. I plan to buy a secret weapon from Dan Drive and then watch last... I know it's a zonk, but it has that octave overtone thing. Do you think it's different enough from the 3699 to have both? Yeah, it's completely different.
It's completely different.
Yeah, in the secret machine, the secret weapon, sorry, you get a hint of octave. In the 3699, you get... It's all octave. Yeah. Well, it's a tremendous
shouting,
amount.
yelling octave.
Yeah. So I use the secret weapon as a straight fuzz. You know, it's got an octave overtone, but it's not overt octave.
Yeah, and the 3699 Goose Straight 11 fuzz, it's very full frequency. It doesn't have that thing where in a lot of the octave fuzzes, it's very frequency specific.
Yeah.
But that is just a massive wall of noise. It's glorious.
Yeah. Marcus Reeves is on. Hello, Marcus.
Hello,
Hope you're
Marcus.
well, mate. He says, guys, the octave show was one of the best I've seen, but it was too short. It's funny, isn't it? We're so lucky that the TPS audience is as it is. And you guys put up with long shows because... elsewhere on the internet, there are people that are shocked. Every now and again, we get a comment in the comments section saying, "Oh man, this should be 10 minutes long," and the standard response from me and Dan is, "You must be new. Welcome." It's funny though. It's been a very low views show for us.
We knew it would be low viewed, but it was a show that had to be done.
Yeah, because most normal humans don't like octave fuzz.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but then most normal humans watch Coronation Street and
and
do other things that we wouldn't do.
Yeah. How you doing, Fraser? You getting there?
Yeah.
Oh.
We'll just keep yakking.
Cool. Right. Matt Lloyd. Hey, mate.
Hello, Matt.
Says, I want to say thanks for the encouragement. Just got my YouTube official artist channel. Well done, mate. Have you used the Nobles ODR1? I just got the BC model and it's definitely unique. I don't know the BC model. I know they did the small one. Is that it?
I don't know what BC means. But...
So the Nobles that I've played have been excellent. The Venuram did an overdrive, the John Shanks overdrive, which is based on the ODR one.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like it to me.
Well, exactly. It doesn't sound like any ODR one that I've played.
Yeah.
But apparently it's based on it. So I don't know. I think that circuit. I don't know the circuit, but I think it's one of those circuits that might be tweaky. You know, I don't know.
I've always liked everyone I've ever played. I really like the. I don't know if it's labelled contour, but it feels like a contour.
Do we have one?
The tone? No, we don't. They were going to send us the whole range, but then COVID happened.
Ah, I see.
They're blooming.
Swipe them off.
They are
just don't cough on them.
cost effective enough. We should probably
pony up
and buy one. Gordon Rankin says, I have the same Collings with gold foil lollers and done in dog hair. Simply the best. That is a cool guitar. Every now and again I go onto Reverb and look for a dog hair single cut one.
Dog hair?
They use a white grain filler.
Right.
And then they...
throw dog hair over it.
Spray it black and then sand it back. So... it's a black guitar, but you can see the white in the grain filler. They call it dog hair.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's how they do it.
I was at a Collings stand years and years and years ago, and it was a small stand. I remember your mate was there, Charlie's brother.
Doug Chandler.
Doug Chandler was there, and I was just walking past. There was acoustics at that time, and on the stand was the most beautiful small-bodied acoustic I'd ever seen in my life, and it had this black finish on the front. It was just like pitch black, but you could clearly see the grain of the wood through it. And I wasn't looking for an acoustic or anything, but my heart stopped. It was so beautiful. I said, I have a play, and it was the best. Still to this day, that guitar haunts me.
Wonderful guitars.
Just unreal.
Sorry, you saying clearly see reminds me of that joke. Guy goes to the doctor wrapped in cling film.
Okay.
The doctor says, I can clearly see your nuts. Gary Turner says, hello. Hello from Edinburgh. Next time I catch you guys live, I'll be living in Berlin. Well, congratulations. What a brilliant blooming place Berlin is.
Yeah.
What a wonderful... I like Berlin a lot. Culturally rich place that it is.
Yes.
And
we were due to be there this year with the... Oh, come on, brain. What's that DAW software program that has that thing?
Native Instruments.
Yes. And they'd invited us out there this year. Obviously didn't happen.
No, Ableton.
Ableton Live thing.
Yeah.
But I'm so keen to go.
John Newquist, thank you, John, for
thank
your
you, mate.
generosity.
Very
Says,
generous.
greetings from Sonoma County. Oh yeah, you make a good Pinot Noir there, as I remember. We're on fire again. As if COVID wasn't bad enough.
Man.
Yeah, big love to everyone out there then, because
Yep.
that is miserable, and we hope you're safe, or at least you can find a way to being safe. So, yeah, our thoughts are with you. Mick, after 30 years, I bought my first Strat, 1993 Olympic white standard with a 6-screw bridge. Any tips for this hardtail guy? So I set mine... You wouldn't know it wasn't a hardtail. I put 5 springs in mine, always. I think it sounds better, controversially. And I put enough tension on it so that the bridge is flat against the body. But when I do my biggest bend, it'll just lift, right? So you're not going to be able to see that from back there, but it will just lift when I do my most massivest bend, which I don't do very often. What that means is, when you play the guitar, you can do double stop bends. You can bend string on string. Apologies for my awful playing. And the bridge won't detune, but you can also...
Nice. But you've got no up there, is that right? Okay, so it's all down vibrato.
The only thing I've got to say about that is Eddie Van Halen didn't
Eddie Van Halen!
Eddie Van Halen didn't need up bend,
good.
so neither do I.
Oh, Phil X posted a picture this week, and he said, because he's obviously a massive Eddie fan, he said he'd seen loads of pictures of the Frankenstrat, but this is the first picture that he'd seen of Eddie with his Frankenstrat pre-Floyd Rose.
Oh, nice.
So he still had the old...
Yeah.
Strat thing on there, and little bits of pick guard still on there, and Phil's like, oh my god, this is amazing. Yeah, really, really cool.
Well, I hope that helps, John. So yeah, get the tension on it just enough so that it just sits on the body there. The trem will still be usable, but like Dan said, you can't get like up bend, so you can't get like a really subtle shimmer, but you will be able to use it slightly in a Jimmy sort of fashion, and it. To the feel, it won't feel that much different from a hardtail. I mean, of course, and if you know hardtail strats, they do feel very different. But in terms of strings not bending against each other, that'll work. Good luck.
Brian Garcia, g'day mate. He says, after having family in the hospital beginning of last week, missing last Monday's show, and an extremely heavy work week, it's very good to be tuned in as per usual. Sending nothing but love and gratitude your way today, lads. Thank you, Brian. Hope everything's all right, mate. And lovely to have you back with us for this Monday's VCQ.
Yes, very much so. All the best to you and yours. E. Bathurst says, or Bathurst maybe, you guys should do pros and cons of Strat and Telly like Mick did with J. Leonard J. If you don't know who J. Leonard J is, Google him. He's blooming
genius.
brilliant. We
He's so
love him
good.
with all our hearts.
Yeah.
Would be an interesting for a full hour of you guys. Maybe you could do it with Gibson too. Not really our thing, to be honest. I did that with Jay as a bit of fun at Toman there. You know, the pros and cons of Strats and Tellys are written in rock and roll music history, and the fact is, you know, if you're of mine and Dan's mind and most other rock and roll guitar players, you need a Strat, Telly, a Les Paul, a 335, some sort of junior, and then you can start adding after that. But those are the guitars that made all the music we know.
Yep.
With a few notable additions, you know, Rickies, V's, Firebirds,
SGs.
Gretches, SGs. Yeah, there's probably about, when you get to about 10, that's probably about it.
Well, we're at 34 now, and we're nearly there. So there you go. Logan Luttrell says, does harmonic tremolo fall under the same rules as normal tremolo, i.e. after delay or in the effects loop, wet or dry amp?
That's a good question.
It's a very good question. So harmonic tremolo, because okay, it is changing the amplitude, but it's frequency dependent. So if you can imagine that, like a normal tremolo changes the sound, instead of being it's but it's not pitchy like I was just then. It's constant, and the amplitude changes. The volume goes up and down. In a harmonic tremolo, they have the bottom end frequencies and then the upper frequencies, and they go up and down so independently, sort of in sync. So if you imagine they've got the sine wave for this one going up and down, and the sine wave's flipped out of phase for the treble ones, and that's going up and down. And so that's a harmonic tremolo. And so I would say, I mean, for me personally, that sort of effect after a full-on delay is much too, before a full-on delay is much too messy for me, because it is still, it's still an amplitude a thing, you know.
So you still miss the attack of your notes if you find that those two amplitude relationships are happening when there's no attack in the note, then you miss the delay, so everything starts getting weird.
Yeah. So I would say yes, absolutely. Harmonic tremolo used in a wet dry rig is one of the best sounds you will ever hear. It's just
I always use
sensational.
Always use mine last, because again, that's where it would be in the amp.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
that's a really good rule actually.
Yeah,
think about tremolo and reverb and where they are on the amp. That's a really good rule.
Lots of people on today.
Yeah.
This is good. St. Paul, Minnesota says Maniacal Lion. Nice to see you again.
Yes. Emil on howdy from smoke-filled California.
North Carolina says Brian Collins.
AS hello from Toronto.
Alessandro Sivieri. Hello, Alessandro. Cheers from Italy. Thank you for your inspiring shows. My question is, does it make sense to use switchboards in the effects loop as well? And if so, are there switchboards for stereo effects? So Alessandro is talking about the kind of loop switcher that Dan and I would use all the time. So if you want to put your loop in the effects, your effects in the loop, should you use a switcher? I know what the answer is going to be. Dan?
Well, I mean, for sure. You simply think of your preamp and your amplifier as another pedal.
As a pedal. And
that's all. It's the simplest way to do it. And then, so you just, send into the input, effects send from the preamp into the return, make sure you turn on the loop, and then anything before that loop is basically going into the front, and anything after that loop is basically in the effects loop of the amplifier. And I'm having a play with that at the moment. When we had the Soldano, and we basically did a quick thing with the Soldano, and I thought, man, that sounds epic. I'm having a play at that at the moment. But also, after we did the show with the preamps, and the power amp, and that's sort of blown me away. So I'm having a play at the moment, with preamps and stuff. But yeah, absolutely, it's a great way to use it.
Yeah, if you didn't quite follow that, just draw a diagram of. So the reason you use your effects loop, right, presumably, is because you like your delays and reverbs and other effects or some other effects after your overdrive.
Oh, so you got a whiteboard.
Whether you create that overdrive in a pedal or whether you create it in the front of your amplifier, it's the same. The signal chain is the same, right? So all you do in your loop switcher, you stick your effects loop in one of the loops of the effects switcher, and therefore what you're doing is you're actually putting your amp's preamp in the effects loop switcher.
Yep.
Therefore, your signal chain remains the same, but you benefit from everything the loop switcher gives you. So the answer is yes, but not exclusively in the loop.
Yep. And for the stereo thing, if you've got, you need a stereo return, and then returning into 2 power amps, obviously.
Adrian Jordan, watching this while building a grand piano out of Lego.
Oh, awesome!
Nice. I mean, is it a full grand piano?
We went and had dinner yesterday, and because we hadn't gone out with the kids for lunch for a while, so we went and had dinner at this nice restaurant near us, and they've got this big Perspex piano. And my son says to me, "Dad, why is that piano made of glass?" And I said to him, "Well, in the olden days, traditionally musicians and piano players were really, really poor. And at the end of the gigs, when no one was looking, the piano players would hop inside the piano and shut the lid so they had somewhere to sleep at night." I said, and then they started making the piano see-through so that they could see if the piano player had hopped in and trying to find somewhere to sleep. It's like, is that true? No, don't be daft.
Oh, you should have strung it out for a bit. Daniel Webb says, hi guys, good to see you again. Nice to see you, Daniel. Any reason why Octafuzz didn't make the cut? Mick, talk us through your tone at the start there, please. Thanks, guys. Second question first. If you mean the start of today, it was literally the Collings into the Jam delay llama. How are we doing, Fraser? We're in mono. Okay.
There's a slight audio offset which annoyingly I can't fix without stopping, so I reckon we just carry on.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we'll carry on. So we're in mono.
We're in mono. Okay. If you cut to the pedal board, please, Fraser. So it was my Collings into that delay llama into both amps.
Mm-hmm.
And then I switched on, I think, the fuzz face. Then I switched the fuzz face off and I switched the 3699 on, which is currently under that Ego compressor there.
Oh, look at this one before.
Hello.
Hello.
Why didn't the Octafuzz make the cut? Presumably you mean the full tone Octafuzz. You will know the controversy surrounding full tone. Frankly, I can't take the hate in the comments. So, unfortunately, everyone who hates Mike Fuller is so active, and everyone who doesn't hate Mike Fuller is so active. It's like watching two damn football teams shout at each other across the terraces, and frankly, we can't be asked. So, there we are.
That's very good.
Yeah.
Robert Forst, Dan and Mick, hope all is well. I bought that SG Supra with the 3 humbuckers. Yeah, you did. It's glorious. One of my favorite pedals is the Jhs Color Box V2.
Oh, nice.
You guys didn't seem thrilled with it. Give it another shot. Yeah, sure. It's a really interesting.
It's a good preamp.
It's a great preamp. And as an overdrive, there are loads of people that use it. We just don't tend to gravitate towards that sound. However, we're having a play with the Clover.
Yeah.
And that thing is unreal.
Yeah. I mean, this is.
We've used that as a mic pre and stuff before.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the kind of preamp. For anyone who doesn't know, the Jhs Color Box was a hard sell for JHS because you plug it in and expecting an overdrive pedal, and what you get is actually a preamp more like what you'd find in an old school analog console.
Yeah.
Used, as Dan says, as a microphone preamplifier, or indeed for preamplifying anything. And it's really cool on guitars because there's some certain key sounds down the years that have been recorded straight to desk, and so it gets you in that thing. So it's not like we don't like it. It's just we gravitate kind of elsewhere.
Yeah, but it's
certainly very
really
useful.
really cool. Josh was saying that when he made that, there's a couple of bands that started using it that he was massive fans of that loved that sound. So
Yeah.
Josh is obviously really into that thing. Really, really cool.
Yeah.
Tad Lusk says, "Hi, gents. Just want to say thanks and hello from Denver.
Hello to
Have
Denver.
enjoyed watching for years, and it feels like hanging with good old friends. Cheers." Thanks, Tad. That's very cool.
Nice.
It's the same for us. We really look forward to Mondays and coming out and hanging out with everyone and just,
Aaron Sternke says, it only looks like a couple of frames. Could be the audio I've set in the ATEM. Yeah. We go through it. Honestly, we go through it and we set it and it's great and then it varies. So it's one of those non-linear problems. It's a variable
it's a
problem.
non-linear problem. I like that. Jeremiah
Jeremiah.
McCann, can you talk about your preferred scale lengths and fretboard radius? Gibson guy here, looking to buy my first Telecaster. Nice.
It's really interesting.
Isn't it?
Question.
Yeah. So I had been a modern guitar player for the longest time.
By modern, you mean like 1985?
Yeah, and yes, 1985. What do you call it? Where it goes flatter.
Well,
Up here.
you say compound
radius.
but apparently that is the incorrect term. It should be conical radius.
Conical. Yeah, there you go.
I've heard guitar makers say it's not compound at all. It's conical.
Yep, there you go.
But it's
And-
commonly referred to as compound
Yeah,
radius.
because the Telecaster that I used before Red had that, and all my guitars previous to that were reasonably. However, when I bought this, because I thought I would struggle with a 7.25, and it's a different thing. I haven't struggled. But I gravitate. It's definitely a part of the sound because you play, I don't. It's not a shred thing, I play differently with a guitar that's set up and feels like this. So, yeah, this is the traditional 7.25 radius. Scale length is 25 and something.
25 and a half.
25 and a half. Yes, as the good Lord intended, and it's just wonderful. And I haven't really looked back from that scale length, that sort of vintage radius sense. My Junior is very different and flatter and stuff, and that's its own thing.
That's the point.
Yeah.
It's if you play a Les Paul, it needs that 24.6 or whatever it is, commonly quoted as 24 3/4, but for some reason it's not that. Anyway, I don't know. I don't understand. It needs to be that. And when you play an SG, it needs to be that because that's part of the sound of the guitar. But it is hard. Like, I struggle intonating anything less than 25 and a half.
Right.
Really struggle. And then a guitar will come along, like that gold Les Paul, the Murphy. I can play that. I can play that guitar perfectly in tune, and I've never been able to play Les Pauls in tune before. So I don't know what that's about.
It's a very special guitar.
Yeah. So it's really about the guitar,
Yeah.
and I suppose it's about what you did the most hours on when you were becoming familiar with the guitar. I mean, I physically cannot play those flat radius things.
Yeah.
12 on a Gibson is as flat as I can go. Anything flatter than that, it feels like a classical guitar.
The guitars that the green one was playing out there. Joiner.
Sorry, Carl Longbottom. Carl Longbottom. Sorry.
Are they 7.25 radius or are they
I think they might be 9.5.
Right, okay.
But I don't know. We should check those specs.
playing that today and that feels fantastic. So yeah, it is all dependent on the instrument.
But yeah, 7 1/4 and 25 and a half. Classic Fender is where I'm happiest, because the other part of that is nothing that I play requires a flat fingerboard radius.
Sure.
Just doesn't need it.
Right.
So
Robert Force says, I have a matchless DC30. What's the deal with jumping the channels on those? Okay, the channels on a DC30 are out of phase. So you can't just use a jumper cable. Otherwise it just won't work. You can run into both channels together as long as you have got a device that'll flip the phase.
such as the humdinger on the board there.
Yeah, so if you want to flip the phase, if you want to jump the channels on the matchless, you've got to split the signal before it gets to the matchless and flip the phase, the relative phase on one side, and then you can hit both channels together. And you know what? I've tried it, and it's okay. I just the channels independently are sort of voiced to perfection. Jumping together, I thought it would be entering into Valhalla, Tone, Nirvana. It was all right, but I just prefer them separately.
As they are.
Yeah. Worth a try, though.
Matt Lloyd qualifies and says bass cut is what the BC is on the whatever the pedal was.
Okay, yes.
He was talking about.
The
ODR one.
ODR one. There we go.
Yes. Okay. So with less bass, yeah, that does make sense.
Sure.
Have you seen the new pedal by Jack White? Says Billy Barrett. Yes, we have. Danish Pete sent us a pic of it today.
Looks awesome.
Looks really cool. I thought it was some gardening implement.
I've got a single a pedal with it. It's just you can do stutter noises with it. It's not, it's not a circuit. It's just a circuit breaker type thing.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, why would you use 3 of those? But
So
no,
what
it
is
looks
it?
really cool. It's a octave down thing. I think like an octave down, octave up thing. I'm not sure. Jack White.
We had
thing.
somebody put us very right on we said that Jack White uses octave, and somebody said no, he doesn't. He uses a Digitech whammy apparently,
Well,
and
Digitech.
some other things.
Yeah, so the Digitech whammy was used to record Seven Nation Army, and the bass on Seven Nation Army is the Digitech whammy turned down, no dry guitar.
Oh, that's why it's so out of time.
Yeah, it's got that sound to it. So that's how we recorded the bass on that. Really cool. Mark Levenish.
Yes. Are you familiar with Fresnel amps? Says Mark. Boutique tube amps from Texas. Customizable attenuators, effects loops, power sections. Considering one for my dry chain. Dry channel. I haven't.
No, don't know them.
Sounds cool.
Interesting.
Sounds really cool. If it comes from Texas, it's probably good. Right, Michael Fours. We have a thank you to say to Michael,
Indeed we do.
who sent us a couple of guitars.
Yeah, Michael
As you can see
sent
down
us
here
2
on pedal board.
guitars.
Some pin badges.
Are you ready to rock?
Thank you, Michael. That's very kind of you.
Really cool.
Very kind. And they came with a free guitar lesson. Stay safe and do what you do. And to you, Michael.
Thank you,
And thank you
Michael.
for your generosity.
Yeah, that's really
Gives
cool.
us a smile. Simon Dixon. Hey, guys. It's my birthday today. So give a shout out.
Happy
Love the channel.
birthday.
Happy birthday, Simon. Hope you're doing something enjoyable. Uwe Landsberg says, thanks for the recommendation last week to try Fuzz OD in the effects loop of my delay. Would never have tried it, but it's not for me. I'm sticking to modulation. Also, EAE is electronic audio experiments. Yeah,
Very cool.
we've no reason to disagree with any of that. Right, somebody was saying that the Wampler Ego compressor made things sound dark. Let's see if it does, shall we,
Okay,
Dan?
yep.
Here you go. I've got something for you. There may be a pop. I know, because you know what it is.
You're going to press that in.
It's a circuit breaker
Yeah,
cable
it
from
is.
Planet Waves. These.
is. All right, here we go.
Right. Right, it does have a tone switch on it as well. So I don't know if the big one has the tone switch on it as well.
Okay.
Interesting. So with the tone switch over, it does knock quite a bit of top end off.
Right.
And with the tone switch in the other position, it accentuates the top end.
Right as you like.
So I don't know what version of the Ego you have, but if it doesn't have that tone switch on, then that's what you might be talking about.
Right.
Yes.
Sounds great though. Oh, okay. Where do we get to?
William Frost. Hello, William. Have you guys ever had a chance to check out Comet Ambicabs? I know you love your wet dry. They're basically wet dry in a box. It's one cab with 2 12s and 2 10s. The 10s for the wet and the 12s for the dry.
I saw this at the guitar show.
I met a guy just before I left Guitarist magazine, and I'm embarrassed to say I can't remember his name, but he brought in a really cool thing that kind of was that idea.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was a really cool idea. But no, we haven't. Have you tried one?
No.
No.
No, I have to. No, but that's a really good. I saw it because they had a really great sounding amplifier. And I saw the cab there, but I didn't get to try it. But a really great idea. Buzz Wilson says, looking for a giggable black-faced type amp with enough clean headroom to keep up with the drummer, hopefully weighing less than 2.5 stone. Any ideas? Thanks.
You're going to enjoy this Friday's video.
You will indeed.
Where Dan and I play the Fender 65 Deluxe Reverb reissue alongside the Tone Master Deluxe Reverb.
Mm-hmm.
I think both of those amps, either of those amps, would work for you.
Yeah.
Now, I've played Deluxe Reverbs that wouldn't have the headroom to
Yeah,
keep up
it's very interesting, isn't it?
with the drummer,
Mm.
depending on how loud your drummer is. In which case you might want a twin. In which case the Tone Master Twin is very lightweight. But this one would keep up with the drummer. It doesn't overdrive as some of the other ones I've played
No.
before. Depends how loud your drummer is.
When you turn it up a little bit, it sounds awesome.
It really is a great sounding
It's
amp.
amazing.
Yeah, I mean, not much reason to veer away from home, i.e. Fender, if that's the sound you're looking for.
Yeah.
Nothing sounds like a blackface Fender like a blackface Fender.
No, totally.
Andrew Bentley, what's your current favourite analog delay? Dan, what's yours?
Current favourite one, the Delay Llama that we see on the board.
Yeah, so we both love this because it does some really cool things, but if you don't need all the functionality, that's the Delay Llama Extreme. If you don't need all of that, the Jam Pedals Delay Llama is a wonderful thing. Hand on heart for me, if I could only have one analog delay for the rest of my days, it would be the Analog Man ARDX20.
Yep.
But it's kind of big, and you really do need the Amazio that goes with it. So it's a tremendous amount of pedalboard real estate if you want modulation and stuff like that in your delays. Other than that, it's not strictly analog, but the Diamond
Memory Lane 2.
Memory Lane Junior
Yeah.
is exceptional.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you don't want it too bright sounding, you've got to go some way to beat the MXR carbon copy
Sure.
for cost effective.
Yeah, it's really great.
And it's a brilliant sounding thing. So it really depends what you want. Analog delay's a funny one, isn't it? Because people say, "Oh, I really want an analog delay," and then they plug it in, and they go, "Oh, it's a bit dark." So so if Money No Object, Analog Man, or that Delay Llama, but there's a lot of good delays out there.
Yeah. Surely Mike's got to build that delay with the Amazio inside.
Amazing. Oh, I don't want anything except the modulation controls.
Sure.
So all the rest of it, presets, all that, I don't care
Yeah,
about
yeah,
all
of
of that.
course.
I just wish I could get the modulation without having to have the Amazio.
Yeah, yeah. Jason Korepsi, I'll buy my first Gibson Les Paul soon, and I'm a little concerned about not being able to play it first. Maybe it rules out reverb. What do you think about buying without trying, especially Les Pauls? So it's a really good question, Jason. I've had a couple of horror stories buying guitars without trying them, and then one absolute joyous, victorious, winning experience. I bought this without trying it. And when I got it, it's always sounded fantastic, but I got this, it was an absolute pig to play. But I'd spent so much money on it that I had to stick with it. And eventually it became wonderful. You see, it's all like, when I bought this, it was new. All the wear is real. you know, or every chip. I was thinking, the candy apple stuff comes off really easily, right?
Well, any old finish does, to be fair. But
Sure. But yeah, the neck was tacky. The nitro hadn't set properly, and you see most of that's gone now. You know, I've done like over 2,000 gigs with this guitar, and because it was my main only guitar for the longest time, and I was playing 5 nights a week. So yes, if I had the option to send it back when I first got it, I probably would have, because I mean it was just not great. However, it's turned into, you know, a swan. The other horror story I had was when I bought an SG Custom, the P90 one. Was it the special? The special. And it was from 1963. And I was told this is the amazing guitar. And I played with one of Dave Gregory's. It was awesome. I said yes. And this guy had one for sale, and it was questionably affordable. And I thought, well, okay, I'm gonna take a punt. And it arrived, and it was an absolute pig. There was a crack in the body. It just didn't sound great. I tried to convince myself for the longest time that it was cool. It was a dog. But I then bought my junior Sight Unseen, one of the best electric guitars I've ever played.
Yes, so it is a crapshoot.
It really is.
In
It really
America,
is.
Jason.
Especially with Les Pauls. It took me 4 years to find a Les Paul that I liked.
Yeah, it's a really tough one, that. Really tough one. I guess the other thing you could do is view it as an experiment. I know it's a lot of money, but if you buy right, you can always sell it again.
Yeah, true.
You can work. You can as Dan has proved, you can definitely put work into a guitar and come to love it if you like the sound of it. That's the thing.
Absolutely. If you buy a guitar for its sonic potential, you're on a loser.
Yeah.
Because you might have imaginations of what a guitar will sound like. Don't. You might think, oh, well, it'd be really good if I changed the pickups. Or if the guitar sounds great, it won't matter what pickups you put in it. It's going to sound great.
And you might be able to narrow your choices a little bit, Jason, if you know the kind of Les Paul that you want. So, for example, the really decent reissues, the ones that are bob on 58, 59, 60 types, they have a bunch of characteristics that you can't really do any other way.
Yeah.
And the price tends to be pretty horrendous. So if that's what you want, you're not going to get that cheaply, unfortunately. If you like that mid-90s slash thing, like all the mids, heavy-ass sledgehammer of a Les Paul, those things are highly available.
Yeah.
So, and same thing, if you like the custom sound that's, palpably different than the standard sound, again, you can definitely narrow what you're looking for, I would say. Sorry, just to finish up with Andrew Bentley was asking us about analog delays. He's saying, looking at the Stone Deaf Syncope, as it has
that's a great
features.
delay. That's a really great delay.
Yeah, I got confused. Does it do modulation and all that?
Yep.
It does all that.
Yep, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so like a lot of their stuff, each knob has dual functions.
Yeah.
And you've just got to know how to get to the dual function, But yeah, it's all there actually.
I was looking, I couldn't see it.
Right.
I think the Trematron's up there, but I couldn't see.
The Trematron's here, yeah. No, Syncope's great.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Yeah. Adam Dobbs, hi Adam,
Hi,
thank you for
Adam.
your generosity. I like to run my 50 watt Reason Master on full and attenuated, but like an extra kick in the pants. Currently use Vertex Boost, but how would an EP style preamp differ sonically? Curious about the Chase Tone secret preamp. So the thing with a boost is you need to be really careful about the EQ.
Yeah.
If you're running your amp gainy, and that's why you like it, so the amp's correcting the overdrive and you've got it attenuated so you can get it cranked and all that, your choice of boost becomes really critical, because the range in which you boost has a significant effect on the sound of the overdrive, but B, a massive effect on the EQ of everything that's happening. So if the amp's already overdriving and you hit it with a full range boost, chances are you're going to get a load of mush. It's one reason why treble boosters are so popular among gainy amp people, because all it does is it pushes it gives you the kick in the pants that you want. Now, if your amp's running cleaner or with a light overdrive, then you can definitely get away with a wider frequency
Yep.
boost. So really does depend on the sound you want. Have we ever done an episode on boosters?
Several.
Have we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all, yeah. There you go. Go and have a look at the show on boosters. That'll sort you out.
So the Vertex booster, I don't know, haven't tried it. Chase Tone Secret preamp, haven't tried it. The EP style preamp is very full frequency and actually can be a bit dark. So it's blooming brilliant going into spiky sounding amps, and some people will love it into gaining amps, but just be aware that if you're running lots of gain and there's quite a lot of bottom in your sound already, even with the bass attenuated in the EP, it can still be mushy.
There's a lot of people that don't like the spikiness that a normal buffer adds.
Yeah.
Use the EP pre as their buffer
Oh, nice.
because it's warm.
Ah, oh, that's interesting.
Isn't it?
We filmed a show on buffers on Friday, which, you know, sounds like sticking pins in your eyes, but it was actually super, super, super interesting.
Yeah, really was. Patrick Murphy says, a well-deserved coffee or other beverage of your choice for BV and Fraser. I just bought a Spruce Effects Fuzz Face after hearing Joey OK one. Have y'all ever played any of their stuff?
Nope.
No.
Spruce Effects.
Okay. That's one to look out for.
I did see a home domestic services van called Spruce Spring Clean, which
Very
made
good.
me laugh
Very
my
good.
knickers off.
Okay.
Uh,
I've had a few people asking, what's up with the 3 tomato tones behind us?
There's not 3 tomato tones. There's
There's
2 tomato
There's
tones.
2 tomato tones and...
one.
Oh, I've got to show this because it's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
You'll see this soon, but this is the new CXM 1978 reverb. No? Yes? Is that cool? Can I go closer?
No, because
No?
it won't focus.
Oh, okay, right, sorry. There it is.
Tell you what you could do, Dan.
Well, we could put it on the board.
Yeah.
There we go.
It still won't be in focus, but it'll be closer.
There we go.
Yeah, so Meris have done some of the sounds, is that right?
Yep. It's based on an old
Lexicon,
Lexicon
480,
2
224.
44. 224. That's it. And I've been having a play with it, and I am in love.
It's exceptional.
It's far
You'll
out.
hear it on the show soon enough.
Yeah. There you go. So that's what that one is.
And the other 2 are automato tones.
Yep.
Al Gorham, plaudits to Team Gigrig. QMX10 and Evidence Audio Kit has arrived on Friday. I now have 10 pedals and clear tone.
Oh, awesome.
So much fun to hand wire. Pure joy. Every week I try to be a bit more like Dan and Mick.
Oh, bless you, Al. That's
way,
great,
That
mate.
way lies pain and financial ruin. Cool.
That's brilliant, mate. Thank you.
Nice. I really want a Gibson Chet Atkins nylons, says Paulie Pablo Paulo. Nice.
Very good.
Yeah.
Jolly Willard.
Hello, Jolly.
Loved the Octafuzz show. Thank you for making classic sounds new and inspiring. Dan playing the Dan Electro 3699 was super heavy and unreal. Killer!
If you want to see Dan being super heavy and unreal, in 2 weeks' time, there's a little challenge that we've done where Dan basically made us all go to the toilet in our trousers with his giant guitar tones. 2 weeks' time.
Oh, boy. Thank you, Isaac Morris. Thanks, mate. That's very kind. And Patrick McGowan says, thanks for the great work, guys. What's the best first pedals with a Gibson Les Paul and Marshall Origin 50-watt amp? Interesting. So I'm assuming you're using the gain channel to get your overdrive.
A delay.
Delay.
Everyone needs a delay. Jimmy Page used the delay, so it's okay.
Yep. If you're using the gain from the amplifier, just stick it in the loop. And a really cool thing with delay, if what you're used to is those sorts of gain sounds, try a simple short delay just to thicken things up.
Here you go. Dan's going to demonstrate this. We don't have a Marshall Origin. In fact, you know what? I'm going to demonstrate it. Dan, I'll play a Gibson Les Paul.
Yes.
Dan's going to set the delay llama up with it off, and then he's going to tweak it so that it has a really short delay. We don't really have anything massively overdrivey here, so it will be a kind of a clean sound, but
You don't use the fuzz?
very fuzzy. But anyway.
So you can hear what it gives space around the note. So instead of it sounding really flat, it just gives this depth. It's a really, really cool thing. So, you know, it's basically using delay in lieu of a reverb. I find it's such a great, great sound.
It is, and you don't have to have it quite as obvious as that, but there's loads of people who use a super short delay just to do exactly what Dan just said. So yeah, delay pedal. If you're a fan of, I don't know, Slash, maybe some other people, a wah wah is quite good fun to get going with.
Yep.
You get a lot of value out of a wah wah.
You do indeed.
For the first 20 years or so. What else? And a different flavour of overdrive. So
yeah, boosters into the
try
overdrive
a
channel.
boost.
Yeah.
And then maybe look at something wobbly. So pick a modulation pedal of your choosing, a chorus, phaser, flanger.
Get a flanger.
Dan likes flangers. Actually, tremolo.
Tremolo's really good.
Tremolo is a killer effect.
Yep.
Just such a great noise.
Really good.
But it depends, you know, have a listen to some of the music you love the most and hear some of the sounds that are in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Good luck.
Andy Good Guitar says hi from a Brit in Chicago.
Hello.
First time I've made it to the live stream. I've lost count of the hours and money I have spent learning from you guys. Thank you. You're very welcome, Andy.
Thanks, Andy. Thanks for joining
cheers,
us.
Mate.
AS, is this the episode where I find out about what you think about the Keeley Monterey? Great octave fuzz plus so much more. Yes, we don't have it on today. The only thing about the Keeley Monterey is I don't think it's analog drive-through. Is it? Someone can confirm or deny that.
Oh, right. Okay. I'm not yeah. Is it?
I don't know. One of the tone workstations definitely wasn't that I tried, and that caused me all kinds of problems in my wet dry rig.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it's very cool. Danish Pete's demo of it on the Anderson's channel was stellar.
Oh, right. I think you might be right. Interesting.
Yeah.
DJM Check says, I noticed a distinct lack of hiss on the Comfort Zone videos. Did you both record in Dublin? Also, can you each share an experience you've had that could be seen? That could be a scene in This Is Spinal Tap.
Oh my God, where do we start?
Okay, all right. So I had just bought my 61 Les Paul Junior, and we'd just done a gig in Watford. And Doug, the drummer, he had like one of those minivans, and we're all in the minivan. There's the gear is all piled in the back, and you know, I think it was the last gig of the week, and we'd thrown all the gear in the back, jumped in the car, and were banging it down the M25, and I'm there and going, motorway seems noisier than normal. Is it, Doug, you know, and Doug like, and we've been driving like 15 minutes. It's like, yeah, that does seem noisy. And Doug's like, slams on his brakes, pulls over the side. My junior, the back door was wide open, right? The junior was balancing, just about to fall out. Yeah, so that's one that I can share.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, too many banned arguments over nothing, hissy fits, that sort of thing, problems with people's partners, all the most boring stuff that is what the reason why.
Before I met Janine,
Spinal Tap is so funny.
Before I met Janine, my life was a spiritual shambles.
Yeah. The reason that Spinal Tap is so funny is because it is our lives every day, isn't it? Apart from the touring and the... yeah. Have you tried the Ibanez 850 Mini Fuzz, says All Things Weatherly. My issue with fuzz pedals is the low end being loose. The tight low end on this one is just what I needed.
Yeah, very cool.
Haven't tried it, but that's one of the reasons people might like the Zonk take on the Tone Bender, because there's less low end and some other fuzzes that just carve up that low end. Mikael Blooney says, I bought the entire gig rig setup, but my full tone Clyde still hisses in the down position with my fuzz phrase on. Any clue? Using the virtual battery for fuzz and wah. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter what switching system you're using. If you've got a fuzz and a wah turned on, then yeah, you're going to get hiss. Because there's so much gain being made by the fuzz.
Exactly.
If the loop is open, i.e. there is signal passing from your guitar through the fuzz and off to your amp, just the fuzz on its own.
Yeah.
If you're saying that doesn't happen and it's the combination of the fuzz and the wah, then that is a bigger problem. But again, when you say the down position, do you mean heel down or do you mean toe down? Because if it's toe down, that's like insane treble going into massive gain. That's Hiss City.
Yeah.
So,
but if you're concerned and you've got that stuff, just send an email through to support, and we might be able to sort out a FaceTime session and have a look at it for you. Right.
Isaac Morris
says,
I have a 2-amp setup with greenbacks, Celestian greenback speakers. Was wondering if changing one out for an Alnico speaker would be a better pairing, or should I stick with the ceramic that just has a different EQ profile? Suggestions.
Mismatching speakers it's a really cool thing to do, but it is tricky. Like, I love my matchless cab with the mismatched speakers. It's really, really great. And there are some things that you can do, like if you've got a 4x12 and it's really loud, a great thing to do is flip the phase on one of the speakers, and so you've got 3 speakers in phase, 1 out of phase, and it's really cool. Sort of still fills the room. Sounds amazing.
I've never actually heard that.
Yeah, it's really great.
I've heard of doing that. I've never actually heard it.
Well, yeah, we'll try it because it's really fun. But if you're going to mismatch speakers, getting them right, it's a lot of experimentation, and it takes a long time to swap speakers out, and it's really hard to be objective.
It's quite the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
We first thing to say is all your greenbacks will sound a fair bit different.
Yeah, right.
If you want proof of that, stick a microphone in front of each one, and you'll be quite surprised how different they sound.
Yeah.
But is there any problem in general mixing a ceramic with an Alnico? I don't think so, is there?
No, there's no problem with it. You just have different. It's depending on how efficient the speaker is.
Yeah. So if you're talking about a Blue, for example, that has a sensitivity or efficiency rating of 100 dB at 1 meter, 1 watt. Right. That's how they measure it. Mm-hmm. Whereas a greenback, I think, might be 96 or 97.
Yeah.
And that 3 dB is huge.
Massive.
So what you might find is that the Alnico speaker actually sounds quite a bit louder. So perhaps one thing to suggest is try and find speakers of a similar sensitivity rating, efficiency rating, they call it. Pretty much all speaker manufacturers will quote that on the spec page.
Sure. David Burke says, hi guys, hope you're well. Thanks for the entertainment and sanity support. Bought a Morgan AC20 Deluxe. It's in quarantine until tomorrow. I don't have a question. Just had to share my uncontrollable joy.
Yeah, I think you'll enjoy that,
Yeah,
David.
mate. Fantastic. Yeah, you'll love that.
Liam Jeffrey, hi guys. Just wondering what you would both go for with the choice of Super Coronado, Fender Blues Deluxe, Vox AC30, Bogner Atma, I don't know what that is, or Laney LA30BL in stereo rig, currently experimenting.
AC30 for me every day of the week.
Yes.
But that's just me.
So are you saying what should you pair with the Blues Deluxe? What you would both go for with the choice of Supro Coronado, Fender Blues Deluxe. Okay, so if it was all those amps,
2 AC30s.
yeah, that Laney LA30 is a really brilliant amp. It sits in a beautiful place of headroom. If
Don't know it.
Yeah, you know, the LA30, the one that we had and we cranked the crap out of in the last studio. The small version of the more recent version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It sounded great, but it depends what sort of volume you play at, I think, and how much gain you want. All killer amps, and I'm sure they'd all work together really well, but yeah, hard to
The
say.
super group looking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're wonderful.
Yeah. What are those mics on the amp, says Patrick Schlachter. They are Sontronics Delta 2 ribbon mics. We like them very much, and we use them for pretty much everything.
Yep. Jamie Brown says, what are you doing with all those tomato tones? So, Jamie, as you saw, that one of them was the CXM reverb.
Yes.
And Colm Cross says, dual reverb delay pedal, circa £200, must be stereo. Source Audio Collider.
Done.
Done. Seriously.
End of game.
Get it and thank us later.
Source
It is
Audio Collider.
awesome. And it has analog drive-through, all the stuff we love.
Yeah.
Unreal.
And it's got enough parameters on it that you can get where you want quickly.
Yep.
More to the point, I can get where I want quickly, which in a stereo reverb and delay pedal is like, that just doesn't happen.
No, it's very cool.
Yeah, it's
really, really
exceptional.
cool.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's incredibly expensive. Might be a little bit more than £200, but boy, is it good.
Yeah, unreal.
Yeah.
Steve Rideouts has recently bought a Nigel Crimson-made replica of Jeff Beck's Yardbird Esquire.
Oh, nice.
Any experience of Nigel's work? P.S. There's an enjoyable chat with Ed O'Brien on the Adam Buxton podcast.
Oh, I bet that's good. The Adam Buxton podcast is excellent.
Yep. And of course, as we know, Ed's a genius.
Goes without saying, doesn't it?
I don't know, so I don't know Nigel's work. Do you know Nigel's work?
No. I don't know about Jeff's Esquire. I guess that's different from the telly that Seymour Duncan had, is it? Because there's a white one with the humbucker in the neck.
Yeah, that is.
That's the same guitar.
That's the
is
same
it?
guitar because it was modded to put the humbucker in.
Oh,
there.
nice.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, really cool.
The lads band forever. I've fallen down the amp rabbit hole. Help. I play mostly in cover bands, lots of styles. Do I want valves, solid state? Durability, ease of setup, and versatility is key. I want it all. Does it exist?
You need the amp that you can play and that you enjoy playing. Forget versatility. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because if you play into the clean channel of a Hot Rod Deluxe only, you might say that's not very versatile. Add 4 pedals, you've got tremendous number of sounds, and whether they're absolutely the bob-on sounds for your particular set list, the fact that you enjoy the sound and it speaks to you is going to make you play the right notes, which is ultimately more important than what it sounds like in a cover band.
Yeah.
So don't be too hung up on features and benefits. Go out and play a bunch of stuff and see what feels right to you, and then shape it to what you need with a few pedals, I would say.
Yeah. So, an example, I went and saw Mick do a Hendrix thing, and he was incredible. And there was some clips going around.
Thanks, mate.
It was awesome. And fuzz and everything. It was just great. And what amp did you use for that gig? Two-Rock.
The amp that I would use for every gig.
Yeah, and it's like, well, you should have used the Marshall. No, he sounded epic, and there's no one that was there going, well, it would have been better if you used the Marshall, because he just sounded unreal. So, if you have got gear that you connect with, it doesn't matter if it's not bang on. If you're able to play, you know, the more inspired you are to play, the better you're going to play. So yeah, get the amp that does that.
Yeah, and go with your gut as well, because there's a lot of second guessing that we all do as musicians and, well, guitar players anyway. Where you kind of know that you sort of want something, but you talk yourself into a different decision, and all that will give you is a load of mental fizz about why you didn't do the thing you wanted to do. So, you know, if you are naturally cynical about valve amps, and there's a lot of people out there who are like, I don't want it to break down, it's too damn heavy, I don't want to put it in the car, then for goodness sake, don't buy one. You know, go and get something that's lightweight, has got 58 million sounds in it, if that's what your brain is telling you to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's all these things are really psychosomatic.
Totally.
And it's important that you don't ignore that, in my opinion.
Yep, absolutely.
So Dan, if you were in the Lads Band Forever's position,
Yes.
and you play mostly cover bands in lots of styles, what amp are you going to buy?
Matchless DC30. That's it. And I will sound epic, and you know, it's like, yeah, my AC/DC tone might not be bang on,
But let's
one's going to.
Let's say the Lads Band Forever doesn't have $5,000 to drop on an amp.
Okay, AC30.
Yeah, so you go for an AC30.
Totally. But that's because I love that sound.
Yeah.
You know, when I was doing gigs with Tin Spirits and I could only use one amp for that gig, I'd plug into the AC30
That's
every
what
day
you
of the
have.
week, and it just
Depends how loud you can play
Exactly.
as well. Depends how loud the band is. You know, if there are, I'm told there are still bands out there making joyous rock and roll noises, in which case volume is an issue. I mean, deluxe reverb would be awesome.
that amp has blown my mind. I love it. Ed Bromiel. Hey Ed.
Hello, Ed.
He says, hey guys, I'm jonesing for a new flavour of fuzz. I have the Electro Harmonics Russian Muff reissue. I'm debating upon a Union Tube and Transistor Hudson Broadcast Catlin Bread Fuzzrite, or maybe a Hotcake. My amp setup is an AC15 Pro Junior Wet Dry. Yes, Ed. Oh boy, all of them. Okay.
Depends what the Union Tube and Transistor is. They do a few different ones, like a Tour Bender, which is was probably hand on heart, maybe our pick of the day. The day we did the modern.
I haven't played a Union Tube Transistor pedal that hasn't yet blown me away.
Yeah.
So that's really good.
That's what I would go with out of all those.
Now, the Hotcake is an overdrive, but for an AC15 Pro Junior Wet Dry rig, it might be the best overdrive you can buy for that combination. It just, into Vox amps and the really, really bright amplifiers, it's magic, but it's not a fuzz. It's more of that classic amp thing. Hudson Broadcast, though.
But Hudson Broadcast is really preampy sounding.
Yeah.
So the Union Tube and Transistor will sound like a fuzz pedal. The Broadcast gives you much more of like a really slammed overdriving preamp, which is an extremely cool sound.
Yep.
Haven't played the Fuzzrite by Catlin Bread. Yeah, I'd go
Union Tube.
T personally.
Totally.
JP says, hi fellas, Skint Student here. I've got an Echo Park that isn't turning on at all. I've isolated the problem to the pedal. I've tried a new battery. What else can I do?
So you're plugging the power in, no lights are coming on, and it's not turning on at all.
He's also said he's tried a new battery.
Okay. Okay. The most common thing to go in those pedals is the foot switch.
Yeah.
Because it's the one thing that you're hitting all the time. You know, all the audio goes through it for both the bypass and the effect sound. And if that goes, it's not going to work. But it's impossible to, you know, to know what it is. All I can say is you might have to send it to get repaired, or
Yeah. That's a Line 6 Echo Park, I would imagine, is it?
Ah, man. Okay, I know those things. That's the tank. It's got the, you can swap the innards out and those things.
Yeah.
It's really tricky.
It is tricky because there's obviously just not power getting to it somewhere.
It might be that if it's received dodgy power or reverse polarity power, that you might have blown a protection diode on the input. And if that's the case, it's a really easy fix, but you still need to take it to someone who knows what they're doing to get it sorted. So, yep. Best of luck with that, mate.
Mr. Dreadeye says,
Yes.
your thoughts on the relationship between a solid body guitar's acoustic resonance and its amplified sound. My 61 Les Paul Junior, of which we have one here. No, it's not.
No, I took it home.
Oh,
Yeah,
Dan
play.
took it home. Which I own because of Dan's, is the most acoustically resonant guitar I've ever encountered. Well,
Aren't they
yes.
crazy? They're so crazy, those guitars. They're so
Yeah.
loud.
I mean, this isn't a 61 Junior, but it is a Junior, and it is made of very lightweight, single piece of mahogany.
Yep.
Same as the old Juniors. Lovely big thick neck on it. Nothing else to really mess about here with. Some Junior fans are going to hate this, but we'll overlook that for a sec.
Awesome.
There is something about slab mahogany guitars
Totally.
that is some sort of fundamental frequency that just works for
Yep.
electric guitars, in
Yep.
my opinion.
Totally.
Now, I don't know. The more simple a guitar's construction, and here's a physics question. If the guitar's construction is more simple, with fewer pieces of wood married together, does that mean certain resonances are going to travel and ring out on the guitar more successfully than if more pieces of wood are married together and maybe aren't as acoustically resonant with one another?
It's a really tricky one. So, people who know about this stuff swear that it's an important thing. And I've had experience certainly with the V, where it depends where the join is, you know, all that stuff. And if you've got, so the V, my join was right down the middle,
Yeah.
and it didn't sound great. Whereas Dave's join was on the wings basically.
Yeah, two, so
And
three
a
pieces.
it had a solid piece down the middle, and his guitar just destroyed mine. So I think it depends on the joints, depends on the wood. It's so many variables. But surely a solid or one solid piece of guitar would. Sorry.
I don't know. I mean, personally, I always prefer lighter weight guitars. They always seem to resonate better to me, whether that is a frequency thing in my head. But in answer to your question, yes.
Yeah. The electric guitar is still an acoustic guitar first. It's got to resonate. It's got to do all the stuff the acoustic guitar does. Yeah, it's important. Ethan Walthier. From what I've seen on the show, I prefer the Mark I tone bender, but it seems like most Bender-style pedals are other Bender versions. Any Mark I suggestions?
It's a really good point, actually.
Really good point.
Yeah, well, without ponying up for one of the proper colour sound ones,
Yeah.
or, you know, the ones made by Macari's. So the Reeves Electro one that we played was more bottom end, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The other one we really liked was the 1.5, but that's only 2 transistors, not 3.
Yeah, and there was the other one that was heavily inspired by a Mark I.
Was that the tour bender?
No, it was where is it?
Royal Tone?
Man. No, the guy from Fu Manchu.
Oh yes, that was really good.
Really, really good.
Creepy Fingers.
Creepy Fingers, the Creepy Fingers fuzz.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called.
Fraser, what was it called?
Don't worry.
Come on, Fraser.
Go to the no. Don't worry. He doesn't have to worry about. Go to the go to our first show where we had the Creepy Fingers in and check that, because I think that was probably our fave of the Mark I types, wasn't it?
Just wonderful.
Yeah.
It's called something, I forget. But yeah, really, really awesome.
In the meantime, Levi Stein says, Mick, your vlog on P90s sold me on a Lola 50s wind for the neck. Yeah, I've kept the 50s wind in, actually. I ordered a mini humbucker for the bridge. Any experience with mini humbuckers? Not really. Not really. Yeah, no. Not for no other reason than I don't have any experience. I've always secretly wanted a Les Paul Deluxe.
Really?
Yeah, but everyone I've picked up has been like £10 or £11.
Right.
and that's just
it's
not going to
crazy.
work for me.
Crazy
So,
stuff.
but yeah, I love the sound. Really like the sound of Les Paul Deluxes. Not least in the hands of Ian Harvey from Delamitri,
Oh, wow.
who makes his sound pretty special.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Greg Straub says, "Gents, you had some very helpful, very kind words for me recently, and I had to say thank you. I picked up a Squier CV Stang as the first electric I've bought since '05. I was worried, but happily surprised." That's brilliant, Greg.
Thanks.
Thank you. That's awesome, mate. You're very well. First of all, yes, you're most welcome. And yeah, first guitar since '05. Well done.
This is from Oisin, I think is how you would pronounce Oisin. I think it's Oisin. Oisin Cook, and I apologise if that's not right. Oisin. Oisin. He says, thinking of pulling the trigger on an old Silverface twin and like to run a Klon type as an always-on with a broadcast, or TS for taste. Ideas on getting a fuzz face to play nicely with the others. Okay, the fuzz face is always going to play nice with the TS, because what's happening into your Silverface twin is like almost endless headroom.
Yeah.
So if you stick the fuzz face into the twin, you need giant balls, basically, because you need to crank that twin
You do.
and you need to crank the fuzz face. And if you are Philip Sace, it will sound unbelievable.
Yeah.
Most of us don't have the underpants for balls that big, so you need something to help it along a bit. You need
It's
like
the film. It's the film. Strictly,
Yeah, you need like a ball wheelbarrow.
It's
No.
the film. Strictly Ballroom. Story about a man with massive trousers.
And if anyone remember Buster Gonad from Viz? Sorry about this. Anyway, the TS will, if you put the TS after the fuzz has got to come first, whatever happens. But if you put the TS after the fuzz will just round everything off really nicely. It'll take a bit of bottom end away, which is really important into that twin.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sound too mushy. And you can just overdrive, the fuzz will overdrive the TS.
Yep.
But it will give it a really lovely kick in the mid-range. It will roll off a bit of bottom, a bit high, and that's a really lovely way to do that.
Yep,
The broadcast, not so much.
Yeah.
Because the broadcast will accentuate all of those frequencies.
Totally.
So you just need to be a bit careful, and if you are doing that, you need to run the gain up on the broadcast a bit so that the fuzz is overdriving whatever pedal comes after it. That, in effect, is almost like overdriving the front end of your amp. So the reason a fuzz face sounds so good into a crank Marshall is because the Marshall is overdriving. You stick it into a clean Silverface twin and it's like,
Yeah. It's so harsh.
Or it
It's
can be,
so harsh.
So yeah, that's what I would say, and
Yep.
that is going to be a nice future for
Yep.
you, I think.
Definitely.
Apologies for the testicle analogy.
Ben Butterworth. Hope all is
Hello,
well. Hey, hope you're doing great, Ben. Broadly, what drives would you Broadly, what drives would you hold on to stack with the Chase Bliss Tomato Tone?
Yes.
It's so versatile, but may double up with other drives, e.g. the Archer, Hampstead, Odyssey, Double Zen Drive. Okay, I really like the Hampstead Odyssey as a boost, colour thing. It's really nice. If you want to use it as a boost and you get your core gain tone with the Tomato Tone and use the Odyssey as a boost, that's really cool. So what I'm thinking of doing is having my treble booster pre-Tomato Tone and some sort of lovely colourful boost post-Tomato Tone.
It's exactly what I was going to say. You want something before and something after, so you can boost into the Tomato Tone to get more squashy tomatoes.
I know what I need. 3 Tomato Tones.
So you can boost into the tomatoes to crush those tomatoes and get them squashier, or you can boost out of
And
the
then the colour
tomatoes to make the tomatoes bigger and redder
yeah.
and juicier.
And the colour of the character of the boost turns into a lovely Italian sauce.
Yes.
And
So Dan's going
Get
for
on your
treble
Sonic
booster on the
pasta.
front. Which treble booster are you going for on the front, Dan?
I shall be going for my Pig Dog.
Yes, that one.
That one. Oh, come on.
The one that's just come out.
Yeah, it's called...
You do know that Simon
Was it?
Dirty Mac.
The Dirty Mac.
You do know that Simon is sending a treble booster, Simon Jarrett.
Is he?
He is.
Ah, man.
A valve treble booster.
Okay, all right.
So Dan's going to have a treble booster on the front and what on the back?
I think it's going to end up being at the D&M drive, your side of the D&M drive.
Nice.
Because I love that as the booster. It's just magic.
I'd almost go there. I think I'm going to have a Analog Man Bad Bob on the front.
Ah, see?
And then I'm going to have a Klon on the back.
Yeah.
Because I am struggling to be without the Klon these days.
We plugged it in the other day. What were we doing? Something. And he said, we'll try this. Put the Klon on. I was like, oh far out, man. You know what? It sounds
does that
better
job.
than any other Klon we've ever heard. Do you disagree? You don't want to open up a can of worms. However, it's the truth.
You mean Klon?
Be a truth speaker.
You mean Klon clone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, it's not better than any other Klon.
No. So, but you know what I mean. The clones.
Yeah.
It just
Yes.
is awesome.
Charlie O'Toole.
Charlie O'Toole.
I have a V4 Duchess for gigging because it's so portable.
Yeah.
I want to get ahead with 6L6s in it for recording. Any suggestions from you guys? You know what? I would go 6V6s.
Yeah. For recording.
We play really loud in here, and one thing we've discovered of late is that our room, any room, but this room, let's be specific, has definitely got a bit of an dynamic ceiling.
Yeah, sure.
So if you want a big amp to sound good, you need to put it in a really good space.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, all you're hearing is, a massively loud speaker banging into a microphone, which is not really the sound of a guitar amp, because the sound of a guitar amp is the sound of that amp in space.
Yeah, totally.
What we've had better results with, or what we're getting better results with, is something like, particularly AC15, particularly Deluxe Reverb, particularly the Tone King.
Oh man, the Tone King, the Mark II
Imperial.
Oh.
Now, of course, anyone who's ever done any recording and knows about this stuff is literally yelling at the screen now, going, "Of course, you idiots! That's why those amps are so popular, and they're on loads of different records." So. Yeah. I would seriously...
Think about those Zeppelin tones. What was he using? Like the
1 watt Squire Bullet, wasn't it?
Yeah, but like really small watt amplifiers.
With a left-handed nylon strung acoustic guitar. That's the sound of Whole Lot of Love. I read it on a forum.
Very good. Very good.
And if you listen really carefully, you can hear his mum coming in going, "Jimmy! It's time for your tea! It's sausages tonight!" "I don't want sausages, Mum. I'm a vegetarian now. Get down here!" Isn't it? Anyway, so Deluxe Reverb. Dan and I love the Deluxe Reverb at the moment.
Yeah.
And if for like lovely clean sounds at really sensible recording volumes, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
However, if you must have 6L6s, I point you towards the 2 Rock Classic Reverb Signature, which is the best guitar amp I've ever heard in my life.
There we go.
Sorry.
Right. We've got some super chats to catch up on. I think
Chom.
Yeah. Matt Lloyd. I may have. Oh,
Hang on,
no.
we've missed Chom.
Oh, sorry. Go to Chom because I'm at the thing now. It just keeps bumping them.
Chom says, "Hello, delectable duo," which was very nice of him. I've lost Chom now as well. How was that? How could that possibly have happened? Oh no, that's really annoying.
Oh man.
Where's Chom gone?
I don't know. I'm going to do Mark Allen's before it jumps off because I think they've got a limit. Anyway, Mark Allen says, caught last week's live show on Tuesday to switch off before the job interview. Mixed talk of flow genuinely helped. Well, I got the job, so a bit of redundancy money might be going on a guitar-shaped treat. Yes, Mark, treat yourself.
Good for you.
Definitely, mate.
Good for you. One door
Well
closes,
done.
another one opens. And yeah, funnily enough, we've been talking about flow a bit more this week. Even Catherine has been talking about flow because she can see what a difference it makes when it is happening.
Sure.
Today hasn't been a flow day.
Simon Master Mateo says...
Not least for the magpie that
Oh.
flew into my car this morning. I feel so bad about it. I was driving in and this magpie, I could see what was going to happen. Can't slam your brakes on blooming main road, so the magpie bought it. My one for sorrow, you know. My front number plate bought it.
Well, you had to go and get a new number plate.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I feel worse for the magpie than I do my front number plate anyway.
But your new number plate says, Dan is my fave.
Yeah. It says B16 BA11 5.
Right. Simon Master Mateo says, I loved last week's episode. I'm running a full-tone octafuzz, but I think the Argo might be more what I need. Thanks to you. Cheers. You're so welcome, mate.
Simon, the Argo, so I've used both. The full-tone octafuzz I really, really like. It's a more traditional type sounding octave, whereas the Argo is kind of cleaner sounding. And well, is more in, and it's got that clean octave blend because it's derived of the cob, right? And you can blend in the clean signal, which means it doesn't get as kind of crazy, which might be the exact opposite of what you want if you like something like the 3699, for example. But the Argo, for me, is I can use that much more musically than I can a more sort of Jimmy-derived octave fuzz.
Yep, really cool. Charlie O'Toole says, also, sorry, I've got a PRS S2 Vela.
Nice.
And love the neck pickup, but the bridge is horrible. I'm thinking about a low output PAF style that might suit it better.
There's not much that a low output PAF doesn't sound good in, to be fair.
Absolutely. They're just, they're great.
What is it? It's like a Gretsch style pickup, is it? Or like a, I forget what's in that S2 Vela. That's a really cool guitar, that. But yes would be the answer.
Jitterbug asks, how would a wet dry setup work through a JC40? So the JC40, because it's a stereo amplifier, but I'm pretty sure does the JC40 have a separate return on each of the...
I don't believe
straight
so.
to the outputs, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is.
So
they call it stereo. It is actually wet dry already because I think the chorus only comes out of one speaker,
side.
does it?
yes, it does.
Because that's what happens in the
You got the modulation.
JC120.
Yeah. So the modulation is only happening on one side. So that's what gives you that wet dry sound. But because you can't get in on that signal path, so there's not a lot you can do, I'm afraid. Buy another JC40 would be one answer.
Yeah. David Rustad. Hi, David. He says, I'm lending a 10-year-old pedals to open up the world as he learns guitar. Gave him an analog delay, a Ryra clone, Phase 45, muffletta, and an old blood noise modulating verb. Only kept the latter. What do I give him next?
Give him me as a big brother and adopt me, and then you imagine having like a dad at 10 years old giving you pedals like that.
I think there needs to be some sort of system of reward and achievement here, because he needs to be doing something creative with those in order to get the next thing, I reckon.
Yeah.
So I would say a system of exams. And
quiz him on pedal show videos.
Yeah.
Just say, okay, let's talk about impedance. Let's get make sure that he's got all that stuff nailed.
To actually
Here is your flanger.
answer the question, tremolo is
There you go.
the next thing, because
There you
you've
go.
got delay, overdrive, modulation, fuzz, and reverb. So really, it's either wah-wah or tremolo next, I would say.
Man. Sticky Note says, thanks for great shows and positive talk around mental health. Birthday is Saturday and my wife is letting me pick a new toy. If I go with a new amp, what would you pair with a Blues Breaker 15 set clean?
Might be bass breaker.
Bass Breaker 15 set clean. I'm leaning towards Orange or Vox.
Either.
Either will be great with that.
Dan's going to choose an AC15 every day of the
Because I
week.
love that chime. But for the stuff that I play, it works really well. But if you are after like heavier tones, the Orange. But either will be great.
Yeah. The AC15 will have reverb and tremolo in it, which is quite good fun.
Yes. Yes,
My
very good.
knowledge of the Orange amp range is not good enough to know what sort of 15, apart from the Tiny Terror, which could also be cool. But I think to have reverb and trem is quite nice.
Yeah, I would say go the Vox. Go the Vox. You won't be sorry. Paul G. Great job keeping us sane. Loved the Octafuzz show. I have a pedal porn fuzz, and I love it. Mix edit cleans up real nice. Can you do a feature on great cleanup pedals, as that is its best feature in my honest opinion?
It's really interesting. Dan and I started talking a little bit about. We've knocked on the door of this subject. So with Simon Jarrett from Kingsley Pedals, Simon came in, I think, when we were in the old studio, or was it in here? Might have been in here.
He was in here.
Yeah,
he was in the old one as well. But
we did a really good show on input and output impedances.
Yeah.
What were some of the other things? There's some resistance talk, wasn't there? Because he's got tweakable things on some of his pedals.
And different capacitor values and stuff.
Yeah, capacitor values is what I was thinking of. And how that all makes a big difference to the reactiveness of your guitar.
Yeah, so interesting.
It would be interesting to revisit that because it does seem to be a key determinant on whether someone's going to like a pedal or not.
Yeah.
But as always, everything is so varied. Tying it down and saying, here's the answer is quite
it's tricky.
quite difficult.
Yeah.
And of course, it depends massively on your guitar.
Gary Roberts, thank you very much, mate. That's very kind. And John Newquist says the message has been retracted, but thank you, John. I'll try and pick yours message up in a bit. Andrew Morgan. Hi, Andrew. Hope you're doing well, mate. Says Mick. I now have a 290.
Oh, come on.
290 and a Triaxis in the lounge. I put my maiden page in front of it along with a Polydigit and a Bricasti IRs. Bricasti. Really agree on those power amps. Can you shout out to my wife Kathy and say it was your fault? It was
Kathy, it was our fault.
Totally take the blame.
Yeah, sorry about
Not
that.
Andrew's fault at all.
Yeah.
Blame us.
Yeah. Oh, man. Are you kidding? A 290? That's just... It's like twice as loud as that one.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, man. In the living room.
Paul G. No, Reckless Toboggan. Why do volume and or wah pedals need a battery or power? Shouldn't it just be a switch to include or bypass the circuit? The circuit would just be a volume pot or a tone pot that doesn't need power.
So volume pedals will only need the power for the LED generally, unless you want an active volume pedal.
Yes.
That gives you more range. A passive volume pedal can only go quieter. An active volume pedal might actually give you a boost. A wah pedal, it's not a tone control.
No, it's a bunch of other stuff in there too.
Yeah. And you've got that signal's got to be, goes through a whole bunch of circuitry that needs power. So yeah, totally. Jesse Wilkinson, Jam Double Dreamer, 1981 DRV, Timmy version 3, and Sick As Overdrive are all on the way. I blame you
Yes, they
guys,
are.
so you might as well take my last $5 too.
Thanks, Jesse. We'll spend
You
it on
will
sweets.
love those. You will love those. So much fun.
M. Houston, 645 says, our drummer drove over my pedal board. He drove directly over a Boss GE7 on a pedal train. Both survived with only cosmetic damage. What has he got, a car made of polystyrene or something? That's amazing. Oh, you would have thought all the sliders would break on the G7, wouldn't you?
He's a drummer, so I'm thinking of Robin Reliant. He hit the back wheels and it's...
So my friend Matthew Smith, when we were kids, he had a Reliant, because he only had a motorcycle licence.
Can you drive those on a motorcycle license?
Well, you could back
No
then.
way.
You could back then. I don't know I don't even know if
That's
they still
hilarious.
exist. But for anyone who doesn't know, a Reliant Robin was a
Three-wheeler.
three-wheel car, yeah, which had a body made of fiberglass. And where I lived, you'd quite often see them up on their end, as people would pick them up and just put them on the back door. made of course famous by Derek and Rodney Trotter in the famous television drama Only Fools and Horses.
Right.
Serious show that was.
Raymond or Ramon says, is there a future for solo VST plugins pedals?
Got to be, hasn't there?
I guess so.
Here's what happens with technology. If you go back to the late 1960s, when computing kind of started, or at least became used, a computer which had about 1K of memory used to fill a room the size of, like a giant room.
Yep.
Loads of tape machines going around computing things.
We watched War Games with the kids the other day.
War games.
War Games.
I haven't seen that.
And they're walking through and they've got all those old real doing the computer.
Yeah.
It's like kids are going, what on earth is that? So that's a computer.
And even
No.
back before that, I guess, in the Second World War, when they were doing the code breaking stuff,
Yeah.
that was a basic computer, wasn't
Yeah,
it? It was,
yeah. What's his name?
Alan Turing.
Alan Turing. So I went there to see it.
Bletchley
the
Road
machine.
Marshallers.
Bletchley. Well, it's so fascinating. So fascinating.
Just amazing. So, and that had like, by today's standards, literally no memory. And now we're at a point where, I don't know, when we do a day's filming for that pedal show, we probably end up with 250 gigabytes worth of stuff. Maybe 200 gigabytes worth of stuff. A gigabyte, for anyone who's not aware, is 1,000 megabytes. Is that right?
That'll do. And how many?
So fast forward from the Second World War to 1993 when I finished my degree, 1996 when I finished my degree. In that year, I bought a PC that had a 320 megabyte hard drive.
Right.
320 megabytes for the whole hard drive.
What? Okay.
How big is the memory card you put in your camera?
128
gigabytes.
gigabytes. And you had megabytes. Oh, my
320
word.
megabyte hard
Oh,
drive.
my word.
So sorry, this rather laboured analogy brings us to the point that, of course, technology is shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. Kemper's that big today. In 10 years, it'll be on a chip.
It'll be an app on your phone.
It'll be an app on your phone. So, of course, why not solo VST plugins? The only problem is they're never, ever, ever going to get an iron transformer that'll take 100 watts, or at least output 100 watts, in a chip in your phone. So,
Very true.
yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Paul Gale, what are your thoughts on the Tremolo pedal Tremulator or the Tremulator Plus by Demeter Amplification?
Yeah, my thoughts are generally yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know that they make a really great compressor as well.
You've lost video.
Oh, how is it overheating?
Okay. We're still on the pedal cam though, right? All right. We're still on the pedal cam though. So, hang on. Right. Here we go, because the show must go on. Right, where are we? All right. So, I know that Demeter make really great stuff. So yes, awesome. Tell me when we're back up and running, because this is more painful than it looks.
I've got another idea, actually.
What's that? What's your idea?
No, keep going.
Charlie on the MTA says, in your opinion, what is the best low power 5 to 15 watt tube amp head or combo to use as a clean pedal platform? Enjoy an adult beverage on me. Thank you, Charlie. Ah, man. I mean, I love an AC15. Mick,
What was the question?
in your opinion, what is the best low power 5 watt to 15 watt tube combo or head or combo to use as a clean pedal platform?
Yeah, AC15 might hair up a bit quickly. Don't know. Sorry, can't do two things at
No
once.
worries. Okay, I think we've got so many super chats to get through. I think we're going to have to put a line under super chats for now. Please. Wow. Okay, Pedal Porn. Hey, guys. He says, thanks so much for featuring our fuzz on last week's show. Dream come true. You're so welcome. On a different note, after watching Danish Pete's episode a while back, I now can't stop shouting bang every time someone plugs something in. Is this normal? It's not normal, but Danish Pete isn't normal.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's fine. And whatever Danish Pete has is certainly contagious. And it's a thing that can pass through the airwaves. So,
It's
yes.
his birthday today.
Oh, it's Danish Pete's birthday today. We sent him a lovely tune, which he was most impressed with.
Do you mean out of tune?
Brent, yes, our lovely out of tune version of Happy Birthday. Brent Porter. What physical things should someone look for in a Strat, e.g. weight, resonance, etc.? Having to buy one sight unseen and I want to call the shop. I would hand it over to Mick. Mick's busy trying to get the camera up and running again. So, all right. So generally, I mean, weight is
back in, Fraser.
weight is a good indicator.
Yep, we're back.
Are we back on?
Sorry about
Oh man.
The A7 really shouldn't overheat because it's not recording anything. It's just outputting HDMI. So I focus. Oh, the focus is gone.
I'm back.
Nice one, Fraser. Well done. Yeah, 3 rules. I will invoke the 3 rules of buying a guitar.
What it looks like.
What it looks like.
What it looks
what
like.
it looks like and what it looks like. Yeah, no, it depends. So, sorry, my mind is all over the place trying to fix that problem. Strats, personally, I like a 6-screw vibrato bridge. I like lightweight. I like a vintage radius, fingerboard 7.25. I like vintage output pickups. I like no noiseless. I like as they were back then, which is not what 98% of other humans like.
Yeah.
Other humans like playability, which is galloping towards saying, if you're on a medium sort of budget, the current Ensenada Mexico Strats, be they the standard or the Vintera series, which is the more vintage leaning one, are fabulous for the money.
Wow, really?
Yeah,
Awesome.
really, really great for the money.
Awesome.
And there's no reason why, if you're on sort of medium sort of money, you should look anywhere else than that.
Sure.
So get the colour you like, get the fingerboard material you like, and go from there.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brandon Chin says, hi guys, any thoughts, experiences with the Mesa Rectivive 25 head? Rectiverb 25 head. Thinking of upgrading for home small jams. Cheers for the Monday afternoon fun. Is it the same as the normal Rectiverb?
It's the mini one.
The mini one.
The little one. It's awesome.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. It is awesome.
If you're leaning in that direction and you've got the cash, it's unreservedly recommended as far as I'm concerned.
I haven't played the mini one, but the larger Rectiverb is one of my favourite messes. It's just epic.
Yeah.
DR says, greetings from smoky San
Francisco.
Francisco. Considered skipping Friday Octave Fuzz because it isn't for me. I watched anyway. I still don't like Octafuzz, but found it interesting and educational. Obvious lesson, try to learn things from things you may not like. Absolutely. So one thing that I do, for example, I will listen to radio stations I wouldn't normally listen to, and I will sit through songs that I wouldn't normally listen to, and I generally end up finding something in there that I'll appreciate. It's a great thing, especially for guitar players. We listen to so much guitar music. Listen to music outside guitar stuff. There's a whole big world out there, and there's things that, Like Dave Gregory still listens to Radio 1 every Saturday morning.
Oh, my God.
Just because he wants to hear what's going on.
I can't hear what's going on. All I can hear is a giant compressor and limiter.
Carl Longbottom!
Hey, Carl.
Mick and Dan drove me on the quest for tone. Thanks for the lift, boys. Just ordered a Black Star HT5 and a Humdinger, and I'm going wet, dry, wet.
Oh, my God.
Yes, you are! In a terraced house. Thanks for the inspiration. No, thank you, Carl. Actually, playing the Tele before and just commenting on what a great guitar.
Yeah.
Really, really cool.
I need to give you some feedback on the other guitar at some point, Carl, when I get to it. Yes.
Yeah, very cool.
Right, we do need to concentrate
We
on super
do,
chats,
we do.
do we? Have we got loads?
We've got loads and we've got 5 minutes. Per Eric Filstrom, thank you, Per Eric Filstrom. Your comment hasn't made it in, but thank you for that. That's very generous. And Marvin Box, hey guys, love your show. Greetings from Germany.
Hello, Germany.
Hello, Germany.
David Burke, Mick, Gibson did a limited run R7 with mini humbuckers in 2010.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. That is cool. That is cool. That's really cool. R7, for anyone who doesn't know, broadly a 57 style Les Paul, which would have meant gold top because they didn't go sunburst until 1958.
Wow.
Nice,
Cool.
except here they could be red or blue sparkle.
Yep.
Nice. Soren Ledet. Hey, Soren.
Hey,
Thank
Soren.
you for
Hey-
your continued generosity,
Yeah,
mate.
thank you,
That's
mate. That's very, very kind of you.
super good of you. Thank you. Right, we have RGU Aspari. Gu Aspari. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. He says, or they say, here's to the show about switchers. We understand that Dan is conflicted about it, but think about it, guys. You have one of the greatest experts in the world on the matter, and switchers are hugely useful to your audience. Please, please, please. We do talk about it. We have talked about it. Because a lot of people, Dan and I talk about this. Obviously, Dan is around switchers all day, every day, because it's his life. Sometimes, maybe, we can lose sight of the fact that a lot of people have literally no idea what a loop switcher does.
Sure.
So maybe there's a show that we
well-
could make there.
Yeah.
But don't think we're going to use a Boss ES8 because that just isn't going to happen.
Brent Porter. Shout out to all our friends from Boss, by the way.
Yeah,
love you
yeah,
guys.
no disrespect.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know,
Sure. Brent Porter says, thoughts on the new Electro Harmonics MiG-50? Is it bang on for the Sovtech knowing they're the same creator? I don't know. We haven't heard the new one. All I know is that we love the old one. And, yeah. But worth a try because they're so great. And Andrew Morgan says, let's talk about Impedance from Dan's Pickup Lines, Volume 3. Patrick Carroll, M&D, love your accents. My goal, wet dry rig, Music Man 2010 65 wet, and a VHT Classic 18 Vox clone the dry. Music Man doesn't have an effects loop. Is it doable with your humdinger? Look, we don't use effects loops generally. We're going straight in the front. The only time I use effects loops generally if I'm using a different preamp and I'm looking for a different sound.
yeah. So the Music Man you're talking about, 21065. I'm guessing you don't run it heavily overdriven. I think it can do some overdrive, but I don't think it's a heavy overdrive amp, is it?
No.
So you'd
they're
be
very
absolutely fine just going
clean.
straight
in
in
the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Yeah, humdinger's perfect for that. Bruce Wilkie.
Otherwise, to actually answer your question, Patrick, there is no way of making an effects loop in the amp because the signal goes into the preamp, into the power amp, and then that's that.
Yeah.
You can't break that signal anywhere if there's no effects loop.
That's what the effects send and return is. It's breaking the signal between the preamp and the power amp. Yes. Bruce Wilkie says, gig rig power question, is there any reason not to use an isolator on every powered pedal? Also, what's your suggestion for power strips on board to power the generator and the Kemper stage in my case? Every pedal should be isolated, totally. I don't know the power that the Kemper stage is. Suggestion for power strips on a board to power the generator.
He's talking about...
okay, sorry. Yeah, okay, right. All right, just in a nutshell, DC voltage coming from your power supply generally isn't going to cause you any issues on your board. AC voltage is different. So you want to keep the AC away from your audio, which is why when you see it in a rack and stuff, the AC is generally ran in a different area than the audio cables. So there's no problem with having a four-way there, but keep it away from the audio is what I would suggest. And some rigs you do need some sort of four-way, but just keep it as far away from the audio as you can. And Dennis Ditlevson says, just love your show, guys. Thank you, Dennis. That's really
Thank you,
kind.
Dennis. Super kind of you.
Rick Bjorstrom says, "Here's $5 for Dan's inevitable back surgery." Thank you very much.
Actually, on the subject of people not being in the best of health, I would like to give a shout out to Juan Alderete.
Okay.
John Alderete, who, if those of you who may or may not know, had a bicycle accident some months back and had a brain injury as a result. Oh, man. And they started a GoFundMe page, so if you feel inclined, look for Juan Alderete, and his wife Anne is running that. And he's making steady progress, and Anne posts relatively regularly about his journey, and he's now at the point where he's doing stuff like helping feed the cats, and and he's kind of engaging, and it's really interesting. She's saying that in order doing all of that stuff is what starts to build the brain pathways again. And you start remembering stuff and all the rest of it. So big love to Juan Alderete and Anne and the whole family, and we wish you the very speediest of recoveries.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Brian Mills, no question, thanks for the entertainment. Thank you, Brian. That's very kind. And Rolf Martin Halderson, do a show with proper guitar preamps like a Bogner Fish, Mesa Quad, CAE, SE3 Plus, or a Soldano times 88.
Wow, there's some pretty serious stuff in there. That would be awesome.
Amazing.
We have actually got some friends at a famous studio near here who are going to lend us some rack gear. So we're going to borrow some really nice old processors.
I cannot wait.
To do that show with. Whether we end up with a custom audio electronics or a Soldano, maybe not. That stuff is rare. That stuff is crazy rare.
Yep. So there were some super chats that we missed. I'm sure we've missed some.
Have we missed some?
Because we sort of... one of the reasons that... So I think it got to a point there where there were like 30 super chats for us to get through. And, you know, we would love to answer everyone's question.
I'm going to answer one now, Dan.
Go for it.
Mariuts Mistak says, I've got a PRS Silver Sky and a Supersonic 22.
Nice.
What pedal would you recommend as a must-have for the Maya sound? Klon or a TS10?
TS10's a really good shout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, look, apologies if we missed a super chat. There's got to be a way that I can see them, but on where I'm looking, it's timed. You only get like half an hour before they sort of bump off the page.
Right.
So I can go back to as far as 25 past 6.
Yeah. We need a better way to do it.
Yeah.
So sorry if we have missed anyone. We will make it up in some other way.
Yep.
Yes.
Someone says, "Gentlemen, love the show. You turned me onto Kingsley stuff, and now everyone is super jelly of my gooey tone."
Super jelly.
Question: which guitar has the ugliest headstock?
I have a controversial opinion on this.
Do you? Okay. I'm going to say, is it Tyler?
Everyone hates the Tyler headstock.
Yeah, it's just, and they're amazing guitars, but man, the headstocks are like a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to answer the question in a slightly different way and say one of my favourite headstocks ever is the headstock that any Fender lover hates the most, and that is the MacMull Guitars one. What I love, call up a browser now and look at MacMull guitars. They make unbelievably nice S&T types, and actually they've just launched a new guitar this week, a new style of guitar. I forget the name, apologies. And look at the MacMull headstock on their S&T style guitars. It's so brutal. I love it because they're going, yeah, we're not going to try and pretend.
Right.
Like if you look at an Anderson or a Sir or something like that, they're like going, oh, we really want to do this, but we
as close as we possibly can.
So we need to do something that's a bit like it, but not really. MacMull's gone, nah. Literally just going to...
Yeah. Someone give me a saw. Okay. That off there. Done.
It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal. And for that reason, I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, any headstock that tries to look like a Fender or a Gibson but isn't
Yep.
is my least favourite headstock.
Well, okay, that was awesome fun. Massive thank you to everyone that's hung out with us for this 2 hours. It's brilliant. We look forward to this every week. The show this week is on...
It is on the Fender 65 Deluxe Reverb reissue and the Fender Deluxe Reverb Tone Master.
Yeah. So we realised that something was missing in our lives. We've tried to fill it with, you know, love and family and religion. What was missing was the 65 Deluxe Blackface Reverb. So we tried, we had that and the Tone Master, and we put them side by side, and we purchased one of them, and you shall find out which one we purchased on Friday.
We really did purchase it,
Yeah.
by the way, as well. We
Spent
money.
hard-earned fun vouchers and everything.
Yeah.
And the one we purchased might surprise you.
Or it might not.
Yeah, massive thank you to BV for
Here comes Catherine
Yeah.
with all the super chats we've missed.
yeah, here we go.
No.
No!
VCQ next Monday.
Oh,
yes.
there'll be no VCQ next Monday.
There'll be no VCQ next Monday unless Dan wants to do it on his own. I'm not going to be here.
Okay. Well, no. Then I shall wait for you to come back the following week.
Yes, no VCQ
No
next
VCQ
Monday.
next Monday.
I'm actually going away, which is slightly controversial in these COVID times, but I'm doing that.
Unless you want to do it with me, Fraser.
That would be fantastic.
Look, the poor guy he's sat over there writing the audio, like a bucking bronco the whole
Oh, hey, where
session.
are you going with that? Also, some interesting news coming soon.
Oh, yes.
These label makers are a clue to a special edition D&M drive that's going to be coming out in a couple of weeks. So, yeah, watch this space. If you're in the market for a D&M drive.
Dan.
It literally says, thanks for joining us.
Yes, it
We'll
does
see you on Friday for the main show.
Indeed. Take it easy. Stay safe. Be great. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.